have the date wrong again? If so, that's really funny. Hello, everyone. It's really funny if I have the date wrong again. I'm not even going to change it. That's just really funny. How's everyone doing? Welcome. Still kind of nice out today. The Delaware Grays YouTube account is in the chat. What's up, Kevin, Katie, Riley, Logan, Evan, Drew? Good to see you all. Yesterday, while I'm waiting for more people to join, yesterday I got to have my first like real quarantine activity so far. Not quarantine, like real activity since quarantine started. My sister got married yesterday. How do I root beer float? Let's go. Yeah, my sister got married yesterday, which was sweet. So it was like me, my mom, her now husband, and a few other people. There weren't a lot of people there for obvious reasons. But it was the first time I've like dressed up in like nice clothes since quarantine started and like had an excuse to like look nice for once. I don't know, it was fun. It was fun to actually like be a normal human being for a few hours while 6 feet away from everybody else. Do you guys do anything fun this week? Drew's enjoying a root beer float. A little upset you didn't bring me one. That's fine. Katie says thanks for the food. Hey, you're welcome, Katie. It was my pleasure. Kevin, thank you. I appreciate that. Logan made cookies. Drew, did I get new glasses? Yeah. So I like just kind of for funsies. Same prescription, like nothing changed. My other glasses are literally like they're right here. I actually have a third pair of glasses that I very, very rarely wear. Like a lot of you probably haven't seen me in my other glasses. I don't know why I never wear them, but I don't. But yeah, so thank you. Good eye there, Drew. Yeah, I don't know. They were cheap. I use a site called iBuyDirect. I think these are like $40. So I was like, why not? Get new glasses. Sounds fun. I don't know what else to do with my stimulus. Alex, what? Logan, I gotta know, what kind of cookies did you make? We all love good cookies. Also, Logan, I don't know if you was much of like a cookie maker. Like when I think of like the things you make, Logan, I think like primarily like cakes or like pastries. I don't necessarily think of you as a cookie baker. If you guys have never had, oh yeah, you sent me a picture of that. If you guys have never had Logan's cake before, you haven't lived. Logan made me a red velvet cake for my birthday, not this past year, but the year before that, so 2019, 2018. It is currently 2020, 2018. And gosh, it was so good. So good. And also Logan's chili is good. I forgot that Logan won the chili cook-off. How can I forget that? His trophies in my office. Logan says they're good. All right, so is that proper grammar though? Honestly, Pastor Dave here. Anything you want to mock me for this week? Listen, Dave. If you give me like 15 minutes, I'm not even 15 minutes, maybe like a minute, I'm sure I could think of something to mock you for. No, I'm kidding. Listen. Respect your elders. Respect your Daves. All the Daves in your life. Respect them very dearly. No, listen. I do love to tease Pastor Dave, but we all love Dave. Really glad that you shaved your head. The next step that we as a group need to convince Dave to do is to start like actually like shaving his head. Like the buzz is a start, but Dave, when you really like bring a razor to it, nothing quite like it. Nothing quite like it. So we are going. Alex, no. Listen, Alex, it'd be sweet. Your dad looks sweet bald. It'd be cool. He can go bald. He can grow a beard. Your dad would grow a way better beard than I do. And then we can all be bald bearded dudes. And it'd be sweet. I'm going to bring this up every live stream until Dave does it. That's like my major goal by the time I leave Delaware Grace. Like when I leave Delaware Grace, if Dave isn't bald with a beard, then I've failed as a pastor and as a friend, more importantly. So, excuse me. We have been going through the last thank you, Katie. I know. The last few weeks on and off, we've been going through different traits of God. We'll be talking about different characteristics of God, different aspects of who God is. Kind of as we're in a season of uncertainty, God as being somewhat who is certain. What's up, Hannah Philbrook? Kind of talking about focusing on looking at different aspects of who God is to kind of have as a constant throughout all of that. Hannah, you are fine. It's a live stream. Come whenever you want. You can go make a sandwich if you want. It's the best part of these. So one of the things that I've been thinking about recently is the aspect of God we're going to talk about tonight, which is God as a provider. And I have a story that loosely ties that happened to me recently. Not even just me. Dave was there also for this story. Lots of people were there for this story. And I don't think anyone has told this story at Delaware Grace yet, so I might be the first to tell this story. But no, Katie, hear me out. It was a busy week. My sister getting married, so I'm just going to do it during the live stream. That's what I'm doing right now. So that is what happened to the teaching video this week, Katie. Busy week. Sister getting married. Fun stuff. So anyway, 2 weeks ago now, we were cleaning out the barn at the church. And those of you who have been around for a little while may remember those garbage metal chairs that we used to have in the chapel. We have those nice black plastic ones now that are wonderful, and we love those chairs. But we used to have these garbage metal folding chairs. Like I said, if you've been around for a while, I know we got them, I think last summer or last spring. So I don't know if any of our 6th or 7th graders would have used them. 7th graders, let me know if you guys had them. I guess you had them with Jam too, or other stuff down there. So most of you, if you've been at Delaware Grace for a while, have used those stupid metal chairs. Every single Sunday night, I was throwing out at least one, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. Could just break constantly, always breaking. So we got new chairs. They're wonderful. And the old chairs, we were like, man, people all the time call us, be like, hey, can we borrow chairs for this party? Can we borrow chairs for this? Can we borrow chairs for that? And usually the answer is kind of no, because we don't want to give out the chairs in the FLC because they're super nice. And it was kind of a pain with the metal chairs, have people bring them back and whatnot. So we're like, man, if we can throw all these chairs out in the barn, we will be able to loan them to people and whatnot. So by we, I mean me, loaded them all up, drugged them out to the barn forever ago. In the process of doing that, I dropped all of them. And then posted the security camera footage of me dropping them all and got on the front page of Reddit. So that was fun. And then we had to make a ramp out of this old metal door to get them into the barn because there was mud outside of the barn and stuff. So they've been in the barn for a year plus now. They've been in the barn for a while. No one's touched them. No one's used them. So we were cleaning out the barn. There were 5 or 6 of us there. And Dave Lang, one of our elders, husband of Billy Lang, our children's director, threw him up on Facebook Marketplace. Said he put him up on Facebook Marketplace and just said, if you want them, come get them. So we got a bunch of replies. I think he went to the first person, whose name was Sarah on Facebook. Sarah's like, cool, I'm coming to Pickerington. I'll be there in a red van in 45 minutes because Pickerington's kind of far away. So an hour passes, still doesn't come. We see this red van kind of pull up to the church, slow down, and then keep going. And we're like, they totally didn't realize they're getting chairs from a church. So they spun around, came back, pulled in. And it was not a woman, as the name Sarah would imply. It was a man, a pretty good-sized man. So he pulls up, hops out. We talked to him a little bit. He had a pretty thick accent, which we later found out was a Ghanaian accent, as in from the country Ghana in Africa. Talked to him a little bit, start throwing chairs in the back of his truck, and it's a Toyota Sienna. So it's an old school Toyota minivan. And we have 99 chairs. There were 99 chairs. And we're we're not fitting 99 chairs in the back of this Toyota Sienna. What? This dude's going to take 20 of them. And we're still going to have the rest to deal with. So we started throwing them in there, and we've like got quite a few of them in there at this point. Like I was legitimately impressed at how many we've gotten in there. And Dave, Holy Reverend Pastor David Eloy Pacheco, makes a joke. Now I'm thinking I might hold the story last week, but it's fine. It still plays into what we're talking about. So Dave, in classic Dave fashion, cracked a joke to the extent of, what did he say? Okay, I'll see if I can find it. It was a while ago. So Dave made a joke to the extent of, hey, gosh, how did he say it? Basically, like, what do you get on all these chairs for? Like, you got a big family? Like a very Dave joke. It was a great joke. We love Dave. And Dave, he goes, haha. He's like, no, I'm sending them to Ghana. We're like the country? He's like, yeah. He's like, we're sending a shipping container out there. So those old garbage, stupid metal chairs that we hate are at some point soon getting thrown in a shipping container and going to a neighborhood in Ghana. From what he said, I think he said basically that like it's the neighborhood that like his family is from, and that they like send them shipping containers every now and then with just like stuff in them. So he wanted to send them the chairs. He said they'll use them. We're like, cool. Like you can have them. I don't know if they want them. Like it really might be cheaper to just buy chairs in Africa than ship them from America. All right. So those stupid chairs that we hate so much, I hate, I don't know if anybody else hates them. I hate them because they just broke every week, are going to Ghana, Africa, across the freaking ocean. And that's wild to me. That's wild to me. That was like 2 weeks ago. We'll never know what happens to those chairs, right? I'll never get like a follow-up. We'll never at some point in time be like, man, like I heard what happened to those chairs. I regret one thing in that whole situation, which is as we were loading them, I was like, man, I should sign my name on the bottom of one of these chairs. I should just do it, just Sam, whatever, right on the bottom of the chair and have it just like my signature going to Africa and like forever, like Sam Moore would just be on the bottom of that chair. So I have some regrets. Wish I had done that, but I didn't. Here we are. Hindsight's 2020. And I've been thinking about, in relation to this is how we're tying this all back together, right? We were looking for a way to get rid of those chairs for a while, right? Put them on Facebook, and God provided a way, not only a way for our chairs to be getting, those chairs are Ghana. Dang it, Alex. What's up, Addie? Not only are those chairs like gone, like we had someone get rid of them, but they're actually going to a pretty cool cause, right? Like supporting a neighborhood in Ghana. Like they're still going to be used, right? Like I think I was not like worried, but I assumed that like somebody would grab them just like use for like grad parties or something, because they're great grad party chairs. They were great grad party chairs, but they're going to freaking Ghana. It's got me thinking a little bit about today's characteristic of God that we're going to talk about briefly, which is God as a provider. God as a provider. If you want to read along, we're going to be reading from Matthew 6. Toward the end of Matthew 6, this is Jesus talking during the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus says, therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not more value than they? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his life? And why are you anxious about your clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown in the oven, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? Therefore do not be anxious, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the Gentiles seek after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and these things will be added to you. Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. A person, I know her name is Hannah. Hello, Kaylin. But yeah, so what I think is so cool about this is that this passage just really lays out so clearly this idea that like God will always provide when we have needs. Like God will provide for us. God is there for us. I think about like what it says here about like the birds, right? Like you don't see like birds like freaking out like, man, I am like, gosh, like where am I gonna get my next worm from, right? Birds just know, like, yeah, worms are gonna rain, worms are gonna pop up, I'm gonna grab them and go like chew it, spit it out into my baby's mouths, because that's how birds do. Birds are gross. I love just this passage it's so clear. Sometimes, right, I think like sometimes we can read the Bible and it can be kind of confusing. We can be like, I don't know what Jesus is saying here. I don't know what the Bible's saying here, right? Like I've spent a ton of time in college in the book of Ezekiel. And if you ever read Ezekiel, Ezekiel's wild. There's like a flaming wheel and like, yeah, Ezekiel's weird, right? I read Ezekiel all the time and I'm like, what am I reading right now? And as I think about like this passage, it's so clear, right? It's not like there's no like questioning. It's just saying like, hey, like you see how like the birds and the animals, like they don't worry about what they're gonna wear. They don't worry about what they're gonna eat. They don't worry about like where the next meal is gonna come from, whatever. Like they just trust. They know that it will be there, right? They know that the worm will be there. They know that their feathers will grow and keep them warm. And similarly, as God's children, we know that He will be there for us. We know that He will provide for us. We know that He is always watching over us. God as provider. Well, it's a silly example, right? That story of like the chairs, I think is a great example of how not only oftentimes will God provide, He will provide in ways way bigger than we ever could have imagined, right? Like when I think of, like I said, when I thought about what was going to happen to those chairs, my first thought was like, somebody taking them for a grad party, or, at the end of the day, there was a good chance we'd have to just throw them out because we had to get rid of them. We've been holding on to them for so long, like we had to do something with them. So I was like, man, throw them out. Somebody use them for grad parties, whatever. And grad parties are fine and dandy and all, but like not necessarily a noble cause for those chairs. But instead, the chairs got shipped to freaking Ghana. It was still so wild to me. But that is not only did God provide a way for the chairs to still be used, He provided a way for them to be used in a way we never would have imagined. Right? If you had said, Sam, make up a story for what happens to the chairs. Never in a million years am I like, yeah, some dude finds them on Facebook and then drives from Pickerington in a Toyota Sienna, has us fit by some magical like trick. We fit all 100 chairs in the back of his Toyota Sienna, load them up, throws them on a shipping container going to Ghana. Right? Like I never would have imagined that would ever happen. But here we are and it happened. So I would encourage us as we think about God as provider, as we think about God as somebody who loves us, cares for us. Yeah, Drew, we fit all of them, all 99 technically, all 99 chairs in the back of this Toyota Sienna. Like what? Technically, it was 95 of them in the back of the Toyota Sienna, and then the last 4 we threw in his passenger seat. But so 95 in the back of the Toyota Sienna, and then 4 in the front seat. And Katie, as to why not 100, because over time those chairs were just like breaking. Like I'm sure at one point in time we had like, probably when I came, we had an extra 30 or 40 that just like were constantly breaking. Like gosh, legitimately, I'm not kidding when I say every Sunday night I threw out at least one, but a lot of Sunday nights it was 2 or 3. I don't think I ever threw out more than 3, but it was like I probably averaged like 1.5 chairs that I threw out on a Sunday night during my like year plus that we had those chairs while I was youth pastor. Awful. Hated them. Also, to step back a second, Kaylin, super glad that you're here. I don't think we've met before. Your name doesn't sound super familiar, but we might have met before. And if we have, I'm super sorry, but glad that you're here. Hopefully, when we can have normal youth group again, you'll be able to make it out sometime. And Katie, I'm not, I'm not saying I threw out 1.5 chairs each week. I'm saying if you like averaged it out, right? So that'd be like 3 chairs every 2 weeks or so, 6 chairs a month on average. I probably threw out around 6 chairs a month, which would be 1.5 a week, but I wasn't throwing out 1.5 a week. That'd be wild. Caitlin says, you live a few hours away. Oh, well, that's a bummer. I'm sure it's not as cool as Delaware. Delaware's pretty cool. But yeah, so I just would encourage you to think about that as we are not even just in quarantine season, as we go back to regular life, right? Like, I learned math that I'm graded for. Katie, I love that. I feel it. I mean, honestly, same. I got my last math class out of the way my freshman year of college, and just not ever having to do math again is wonderful. But yeah, so I'll just encourage us, not even just in quarantine, right? I feel like everything we do, we're like, oh yeah, like in terms of quarantine, but even in terms of not quarantine, right? Whether we're in quarantine or out of quarantine, we're still going to have needs. We're still going to have things we worry about. We're still going to have ways that we hope God provides for us. So I encourage us to look for ways that we can have God provide. Look for ways in there. Trust God for that. Ask God for things. I had a professor in college who used to always say, you have not because you ask not. So all the time, we would show up to class, and there's this kid in my class. I'm not going to say his name because I love him. He has a very unique name. But awesome dude. Great dude. On more than one occasion, we'd show up for a test, and he'd be like, Dr. Metters, can we take our test next class period? Or like, can we have an extension on this paper? Or like, can we can't turn in this homework assignment tomorrow? And almost every time, Dr. Metters is like, yeah, why not? You have not because you ask not. Like, always just said yes. I'm like, what? Is that easy? Studied all weekend. It was that easy to ask? And I feel like so often we think the same way with God. We think that like, man, like I might as well not ask. Like, there's no way God's going to provide this thing, so I'm not even going to ask. Always, always ask. That's got my thought this week on God as provider. In response to Katie calling me out on it, hopefully we will have a actual teaching video instead of just like me doing it on the live stream for next week. This week just got out of hand with my sister's wedding and all the craziness going on with that. In case you're wondering, it was beautiful. I shed one single tear while they're reading vows. I was just sitting there and just like one tear. That was it. Their honeymoon is kind of lame. They're going to a hotel for the next few days just to like not be in their home. And then like they can't move into their like place together for another month. So I think Grant's just gonna like temporarily move to her apartment for a few weeks. It's a weird start to a marriage for them. But they're killing it. We love Grant. I have a new brother, so that's fun. So, all of that aside, let's play a game. Logan said lies, Sam. Logan, what did I lie about? I'm curious. So last week, we did Would You Rather. Personally, I thought it was a ton of fun. We had some great discussion. We decided we're going to Cedar Point if roller coasters open again this summer. So I'm down to break my own rule of not doing the same game back-to-back weeks. Play. Would you... Look, I said more than one. I didn't. It really was like... It was like honestly wild. Kind of sad. It was just like it wasn't... I wasn't super emotional in the whole thing. Like, it was cool. It was a beautiful ceremony. I kind of knew the pastor who like led it. He was one of the pastors at the church that I was at in college. So I like know him a little bit. I'm gonna try to find. Here we go. I found it. Sorry for that. But you were nagging me for it earlier. So here we are. This is me. This is security camera footage from the church. I'm pushing chairs out. I'm pushing chairs out. I'm pushing chairs out. There's an edge to that little step there if you've been to the church before. So I get the chairs out and wait for, oh, the chairs fall. All of them fall. They all fall. I'm looking. Throughout all of that, I held those chairs up. Oh, it ended early there. I thought it was a little longer. So throughout all of that, I hold like these like 3 chairs up, and then I like let go of them and go start picking other chairs, and they just like immediately fall. It's like, come on. So that was me dropping a million chairs. It was the worst day of my life. It took me so long to pick them all back up again. Sorry if I was absent for a second. I wanted to find that video for us. Alex wants to play Murder in the Dark. Yeah, we'll play Murder in the Dark. Alex, what you're going to need to do, Alex, for us to play Murder in the Dark is you're going to need to go outside when it gets dark and just wait. And eventually someone will call Murder in the Dark, and then you can go back inside. Yeah, it might take some time. But yeah, Alex, if you just go and sit outside, wait. Man, you guys always try to me whenever I say rather. Listen, rather is a perfectly valid pronunciation. Yes, okay. I want to show. Yes, Dave just sent this to me. This is not, I am not roasting Dave. Dave's texted this to me just now and said, some more fun with church security camera footage. So here is lead pastor Dave Pacheco. Wait for it, and there he goes. Gyro runs over to him. Let me run that back. We'll turn my brightness up all the way. Oop, turned. So go ahead and watch. So, oh, this is fun. We're going to work ever. So Dave is in the corner there. He's walking, and slips and falls, and just absolutely falls into a heap on the ground. I think my favorite part of this video is not Dave falling. Dave falling is fine and dandy and all, right? Like, it's like, we love Dave. We love when somebody falls. It is just watch how quick Gyra just sees Dave fall and immediately just runs to him and then stops, which is even better. Dave is dead. I love that video with my whole heart and soul. It's so funny to me. But the best part really is, honestly, Dave falling and then Gyra running to him. I'm going to be honest, guys. You're Pictionary. Y'all, some of you are. I love Pictionary. I don't know how to play Pictionary over YouTube Live. And while you could argue the same point for some of the other games we played in the past, that they aren't necessarily meant to be played on a live stream, Pictionary feels especially hard to play on a live stream. Dave here again. Alex just ran outside to play Murder in the Dark. Yeah, Alex you can chill outside until it's not dark yet, though. Murder in the Light right now. Some point in time, someone will come by and tell him to come back inside. Ponders life choices. I haven't actually gone back through all the comments yet in a second. So tell me you shed more tears in movie Onward than your sister's wedding. Not only, wait, hold up. I gotta run this back for address comments in a moment. Logan, as this is 3 weeks in a row now, I'm getting caught out on this. Yes, I cried more in Onward than I did at my sister's wedding. But hear me out on this. My sister cried more at Onward than she did at her own wedding. I don't think she cried at her wedding. I think she might have teared up during the first look. So you can not care about it is option number 1, and not care about when the bride and groom see each other. So you can either do the first time the groom sees the bride is when she walks down the aisle. First time, not ever in his whole life, but first time sees her that day in her dress, whatever. 2, get to see each other before the wedding, pray together, cry, whatever you want to do. Or 3, you can just kind of not care, right? Most people take one or the first 2 options, but some people just don't really care about it, like whatever. Like I had a friend who him and his wife got breakfast the morning they got married. Like they were just whatever, we're getting married. So I think they did a first look, and Grant had thought that Laura couldn't get her wedding dress because the place that had it was closed. She ended up like talking them into like letting her like get her wedding dress back, doing alterations on it when quarantine hit. So Grant was super shocked to see her in a dress because he thought she was going to be in just like a white dress, but not like her wedding dress. I think she might have teared up there, but I don't know if she cried besides that. So yes, as a point of order, I did cry during Onward more than I did during my sister's wedding. But my sister cried more during Onward than she did during her wedding by a large margin. So I think I'm vindicated. I'm going to say that I'm all right. Sorry for the yawn. Yeah. And McAllister says Jackbox games. Hannah, Jackbox games are a Tuesday thing. We know that. You know that. Jackbox games are a Tuesday thing. This is Sunday. Does it look Tuesday? Come on. But this is a good time to plug. We play Jackbox games on Tuesdays, and it's super fun. We're probably not going to play TKO this week as a side note on Tuesday, because that'd be a lot of TKO. And TKO, like, we're just making the same jokes now. We're going to give TKO a rest for a couple weeks. Addie, no, the wedding was not on Zoom. I filmed it personally I filmed it on my actual camera, and then I also live streamed it to Facebook. So it was live streamed, and then I'm gonna throw together like an actual wedding video for them. Hannah, what games are we playing? There are so many games. I had the first 5 party packs for Jackbox. That's 25 games. I'm going to mess around with it tomorrow because, as you guys may remember, some of the other games like weren't working, which was a big old bum. So if I can get stuff working again, we'll see what games we play. Logan, I don't know what day it is anymore. They blend together. Honestly, they really do. Today is Sunday. Jackbox games are in 48 hours from right now. We'll be playing Jackbox games on Zoom. Katie and Kim have recommended bingo. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's a moment of vulnerability. Anything about bingo. I know that you yell bingo, and that is the extent. I've never done anything bingo-y. I think I'm a bad American for it. But I literally don't know how bingo works. I think you make things in a line or something. Like, I'm pretty sure that's how bingo works. But I really don't know how bingo works. And that's on me. That's like on me as a human. Like, that is an absolute flaw and a character flaw of mine, as a fault of my own. But I don't know how bingo works. Someone to teach me bingo. All right. We are. The reason I don't know how to play bingo is twofold. One, because I'm not 80. All right. I'm old. I'm 25. It's pretty old. Two would be I grew up in like an actual city. I grew up in a place with things to do that weren't bingo. So maybe it's like a Delaware thing. I just had other things to do than play bingo when I was growing up. Like a lot of really anything else than bingo. Hannah, I'm 12 and I don't play bingo. Hannah, chill. Listen, someone can teach. Oh, I will learn to play bingo. I'm sure it's not hard. You somehow managed to be insulting. That was the goal. I'm kidding. Listen, you guys know I love Delaware. I'm kidding. But I don't know how to play bingo. All right. We are going to do not a ton, a few. We've been going for a little while. No, but it's riveting. We're going to do just a handful of a couple more Would You Rather questions because they're fun. All right. First one should be easy for you all. Not necessarily easy for you all, but it's a simple question to start us off. You rather, you guys heard me, would you rather, okay, that long A, the rather. Seen trivia done well in the types of meetings? Ooh, trivia would be fun. We did trivia on our second Zoom game night. And Drew just got everything right. Like, it was gross. I don't understand how Drew literally knew everything. So, would you rather? Maybe we'll do some trivia also. Live without the internet or live without AC and heating? No internet or no AC and no heating? I think the answer is simple. No, my answer is easy for sure. Yeah, since there's lag. My internet is fine, so there's a chance that's on your end. Did my internet go down? Oh, everyone's saying that there was no internet. All right. I see internet, mostly internet, almost all internet. So far, only Katie has said no AC or heat. Logan, you can't say neither. You gotta pick one. That's not how this game works. Hannah, live without internet. People did it for a long time, plus mine doesn't work. Seriously, Hannah, your internet is garbage. It makes me sad every Tuesday. Gosh, the amount of you who have said no internet is baffling to me. Listen, I think the answer is easy, which is no heat and air conditioning. Hear me out on this. Wait a minute, I'm sad every Tuesday. It does make me sad every Tuesday. Hear me out on this onto why no AC and heat is better. First off, you save money all the time. You'll get used to it. Like, you get used to being like sweaty a bunch. Maybe you're all 80, like listen. In the summer, you'd be fine. Throw a fan on, you'll be fine. Wear some shorts, wear a tank top or whatever, you'll be fine. In the winter, get a place with a fireplace. It's like here at one at work. I don't have a fireplace here. But if I got like a house or an apartment with a fireplace, I'll just get home and light a fire. And I'd be fine. Like, it'd be cold, but like I'd be fine. So easy solution. And then you still have internet. Not having internet. I can't believe you guys. Since you guys insisted on trivia, I'm going to ask you guys a real softball trivia question. Like a real, every living room has a fireplace. Are the house that I lived in for a while as a kid had like a not working fireplace? Like, it had a fireplace technically, like it was like there, but like it just didn't work. So while yes, typically every house has a fireplace, like there are some that don't work, because ours was like I forget what was wrong with it, but actually I think both, like 2 out of the 3 houses I like lived in as a kid, like didn't have working like fireplaces we were allowed to use. Anyway. Okay, Hannah, I realize that yes, it does take a long time to heat up a house with a fireplace, but if you just keep it going, then it's not going to get cold. It'll just always be on. Hey, my roommate just got home. All right, I'm gonna ask you guys the softball question, trivia, all that. Softball question. Here we go. Michael Jordan. Right now, they're running the Michael Jordan documentary series on ESPN. How many championships did Michael Jordan win? Lay it on me without looking it up. Ryan Curzon, your pipes would burst. That's a crazy answer. Six. Drew says 5. Ryan, I'm not surprised you got it immediately. You were alive when that happened. I was also, but I was very young. Actually, was I? When did... I don't know when he won his last championship. I was alive, but like I was very, very small. Ryan had a right off the bat with 6. I see some 5s. I see a 10. 10s, a lot. Michael Jordan is in Space Jam. Yes, he is. Space Jam is so good. We all love Space Jam. So there was our taste of trivia for tonight. Next week, when we do this, we are going to make the jump to Zoom, I think, for a week of this. So we'll have this on Zoom and then also Tuesday night games on Zoom. This is fun and all. I enjoy doing this, but just like more of an interactive experience, more ability to like actually talk back and forth, see faces, hear each other. So we are going to move Sunday nights to also Zoom, and I'll send out information for that this week. But we'll do Sunday nights on Zoom. We will do these on Zoom. If you are in the camp of Hannah Philbrook and you have internet issues, and sometimes Zoom is just like poopy for you, my recommendation for that is to turn your video feed off, because then your upload is less, and then a lot of times that will help. Doesn't always help, but if you turn your video feed off, that can sometimes help. But like I said, also not always. So next week, we'll do this on Zoom, a little bit more of an interactive experience, be able to talk a little bit more, gives us a lot more like leverage with games we can play, because every game we otherwise play is me talking at you guys and reading your comments. So next week, do it on Zoom. Encourage you guys to be thinking about what we talked about in Matthew today. Just that idea that not to be anxious, that we have a God who provides, a God who cares for our needs, a God who knows our needs. And regardless if we think that he won't or think that he will, like, to at the very least, ask, right? Ask God to meet our needs, ask God to provide in those ways, and not just like assume that God won't provide, that God won't work, that God won't act. So I love you guys. Let me pray real quick, and then I'll see you all on Tuesday. Dear Lord, I thank you for this night. I thank you for these students, Lord. I ask that as we head into, I don't know, month 2 now of quarantine, something like that. We're getting close to month 2, I'm sure. That you just keep us sane, God, keep us provided for, keep us busy with things to do, help us to stay productive, Lord, and help us to continue to see you, interact with you, love you well. And in your holy, holy name, Lord, amen. So I love you guys. And then I'll see you all on Tuesday. Love the amens in chat. But yeah, don't forget, next Sunday night, Zoom, not the YouTube channel. But I will post a teaching video next Sunday at like 6:30ish. Because my sister's not getting married this week, so I won't have to prepare for a wedding. Also, Hannah, I miss you too. I miss all of you. It's weird being home all the time. Bye, everyone. See you all Tuesday.